Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Thursday, November the 10th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Looking for an entry, part 3 with Walmal. These videos for educational purposes only. Your results differ from mine. Getting feedback that traders out there seem to like this looking for an entry topic. And one trader asked about Walmal trades there, Walmal. So I guess you might want to tell them how you would incorporate them in while we're looking for an entry. And it looks like there was just an entry here on that third magenta dot to the south.
Yeah, I just went short. I'm not looking for very much because we've had a problem here, so we'll see. I got in at 95.9. This may work, may not work. I don't know. We'll find out. That's for sure. One way or the other, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of a Walmal trade, well, at the beginning of the hour, we had a really nice Walmal trade that occurred, and I took it, but it wasn't taking it intentionally. Let's put it that way. I was actually taking a flip-flop box, but it happened to line up perfectly with a Walmal trade at the same time. And you just got to go and wait for those line breaks. It's just, it's such a simple trade. That's the great thing about it. There's not much to really look for other than the fact that it's just a simple trade.
Yeah, I'm assuming you did it at around 1380.
Exactly. That's why I went long on that. Right. And what I did was the flip-flop box was there, and I actually got in. Hold on a second. I'm going to look to get out of this trade that I got into. Let's see. 1 second here. And that went against me. Oh well. I had it out, but I didn't take it. Hopefully it'll come back. It'll come down again. We're below the indicated 2 dots, so we're in good shape that way. I've got a pip on the board, and I probably should take it because I don't like the way this is lining up.
Yeah. Well, we got this return bar, this big bull candle here. So it probably needs to get down to about 91. But
exactly.
How long it takes to get there, we don't know.
It may happen today, it may happen tomorrow. I mean, we really don't know. That's the thing about trading. We know that it's going to get there at some point in time. It's just you don't know when.
Well, we don't know. We suspect it based on observation that
exactly.
These return bars get filled, but every now and then there's one that doesn't. And just for those traders who don't know what I mean by return bar, anytime I see a big bar like this, and statistically, if it's over 8 pips on the 1 minute or 5 minute chart, that's a return bar. And so it has very little wick at the top, very little wick at the bottom here, and this big body. Well, price usually likes to get to the open of these big bodied candles. So you can see here, this is a pretty big bodied candle over here, but I really wouldn't call it a return bar. It's not statistically, but you can see here price once again returned to the open. And usually it shoots up in one and it takes a whole bunch to get back down. And I think you got an out here.
Yep, I just got out. I got 2 pips. So, I actually got, because I had to pay commission on that, I had to pay 0.3 on it. In commissions, I actually got 1.7 at the commission, but I got 2 pips, Yeah. And that's this nice thing about this trade is that, well, I was in that trade longer than I usually like to be in a trade, but, it's pretty reliable. But going back to that Walmart line, that there was also, the thing that was a little bit worrisome about it is that, that trade that brought it through the Walmart line, it actually was a return bar itself. But, the thing is, it went down. Notice it went down to the midpoint of that big candle, what I call an igniting candle, the one that explodes through.
Yeah.
It went down to the midpoint, and usually at the midpoint, it's going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to continue, that's obvious. It's either going to continue, or it's going to turn around at that point. But there's usually some type of what TRO, you like to call it an inflection point.
Right.
But and so on that trade, if I was taking a true Walmart trade there, I would have waited for it to cross that line, come down, hit that midpoint, which would have been, the funny thing is the midpoint was right at the 80 line, and then if it came up like it did on the next bull candle, then I would have taken a trade there. So my entry on that trade would have been probably about 80.9 or so, you know. And the nice thing about it was, you know, you could have gone all the way up to 90, you know, before it decided to go and return back down to that 80 again. But the nice thing about it is you could have easily, now if you're doing the 10-7-5 method that I talked about in those videos that we talked about, the Walmal line, what you would have done is, as soon as you went up to 7 pips, okay, you would have gone and set your stop loss at +5, you know, and as soon as you got to 10 pips, well, we never quite got there. You know, so, but I talk in that video that, hey, you're sitting there and you're sitting at the 9.5, something like that, and it's starting to waver a little bit. Well, you know what, move your stop up another 2 pips and, you know, and move it up to 7, you know, and so on that trade, you know, you could have easily made 7 pips if you followed the Walmal rules. And it's just, you know, you just got to look for them, and, you know, they happen. You know, it's funny, we say trades happen every day. You know, that this is a trade that happens on the pound anyway during the New York-London session. Happens almost every hour. Doesn't happen every hour, but it happens almost every hour.
Right. Now we're getting a second aqua dot here, so let's see if the third dot trade happens. And so for those boys and girls and non-binary traders, these dots, they're actually diamonds, and it's on indicator 2, TROIND 2, and did I get the right indicator? My bar width, this input, I'm going to set it to 2 just to make them stand out a little bit more, so you can see that there's diamonds here. So on this, so if you would have entered this trade,
I went in at 95.1.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. You know, it's like, again, you know, it's just one of those things. You just gotta wait and see what happens. You know, and I had 1.3, and I probably should have taken it out, but I didn't. The reason why I should have taken it out is because if you look left, there's lots of tops there were rejected in that area.
Yeah, you got to get through these wicks right here. And you can see this one right here. This is the one it needs to break, and it hit it and reversed.
So we just have to go and wait and see.
Yeah. So once again, so while we're talking about the third dot trade, you have
out with 2.
A magenta, then you have an aqua, then you have an aqua, and now here is where Walmal and I kind of differ on the way I usually do it. Is because of the broker I use. If I see that pattern, you know, the color change, then the color like this. So this is magenta, aqua. I'll get in if about somewhere between 1 and 5 seconds before this candle closes, because what will happen a lot on this candle, if I wait for the open, a lot of times this will explode, and then by the time I get in, it might put me in at the top, and that's when I say it'll put me in at the inflection point, because you can see here I never would have had an opportunity to make profit. Now I think Walmal likes to wait for it to break something other than just the flip-flop box, or you like to wait, at least wait for it to break the flip-flop box.
I want some type of commitment. You know, right. I'm looking for commitment. So I don't know if your viewers actually heard it or not, but I did exit that trade and got 2. I called it, but I don't know if you were talking. Sometimes you know how phones work where it may have gotten muted.
Yeah, no. So you got out of that trade with 2?
I got out with another 2. So here, you know, and I got a solid 2 on that one. So I'm up 3.7, and we've been on the phone for, you know, not very long.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine, I'm not trading this level, but imagine I was trading at 10 lots, you know. That would have been nice. You know, basically $370 every 10 minutes.
Yeah. So now we've got the pattern again. The question is, we've got, I believe everything is green. So on this particular one, chances are I would probably pass up the trade and then live to regret it.
Okay, we got a new hour, just so you're aware.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah, we're top
I
of
would
the
take
hour.
it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
So there's the short.
Yep. So I did not take it because we were talking. I should have taken it, but I did not take it. This would have been a legitimate trade for me. Now, whether it works out or not, I don't know.
Right.
But we'll just have to go. And like I said on the other two trades, just got to sit there and wait and see what happens. And if it works out, that's wonderful. If it doesn't, well, that's just part of trading. That's okay too. Because if you've got your stops in place and you got appropriate risk in terms of the number of lots, like we talked about on that last video when we talked about when is enough. If you got all those things in place, you're good to go. And it'll all pan out in the end.
Yeah.
By the way, if you would have taken that trade,
mm-hmm.
You potentially could have gotten out with 1 pip. Right now, you'd be underwater by probably about a pip and a half or so. And I'd probably be looking to get out of this trade at this point because it doesn't look like it's going to work out. I may be wrong, but it just doesn't. I'd wait to get close of this candle, and if it closes above the indicated 2 dot, I'd just take the loss, and whatever. But right now, I'd be up a pip and a half. And I'd wait on this one. This one, I'd probably let it go a little bit longer. And the reason why is because it's the beginning of the hour. We only got 5 pips on the hour, so there's lots of room for this thing to grow.
Right.
But like I said, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of type of trade where you take your 1 or 2 pips, then you can wind up kicking yourself. Because
exactly,
it, like you mentioned, there's room for it on the hourly range. So if we look right here, it's only at 5 pips, but the last 4 hours we had a 29, a 35, a 30, and a 33 on my broker.
Yeah, I got the same over here. So, we've had some big hours. And now, the only thing that we've got to be careful of is that this hour we do have big red news at the bottom of the hour at 8:30 or so.
But you see, I switched over to the 5-minute chart. We've got this big return bar right here from bar 4 ago. So, if you're looking at that, this would be a place where price most likely wants to return to, which is about 1383. So we'll just have to wait and see if it does it or not.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I say it all the time, but it's having problems right at that midpoint. I say that all the time. It has problems at the midpoint. Eventually, more times than not, it breaks through. But the question is, how long does it take? How strong is your stomach to take it?
Right.
Can you manage your emotion through this? And because it could do this for an hour, back and forth like this before it finally breaks it. Who knows? Bam. Okay, you got your 2 pips if you want it.
Yeah, because how much is enough? We talk about how much money to make, how much position size to put on, but sometimes we don't talk about how many trades to take because there's something that's called fatigue, and I know I go through it because a lot of times I'll, be trading for like 4 or 5 hours or more, and then all of a sudden, usually I might have a good first 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll do something dumb, and then put myself in a position that could wipe out all the profit if I keep going the way I'm going. And it's one of those things where I just want to walk away, and we're almost out of time.
Yeah. We need to go and continue that topic and maybe at another time because there's so much about that it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And so I could tell war stories about things I've got myself into trouble with.
Yeah. So, fellow traders, once again, that's how we look for an entry. So if you've got more questions, go ahead and fire them in. Oh, and where I post code on Kreslik, I actually posted the 2 templates that Walmal uses. So you can, if you really want to follow along when you're watching the video or try it at home. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.